Isaiah 10. Woe, judgment is coming, to those judges who issue evil statutes, and to those magistrates who constantly record unjust and oppressive decisions, so as to deprive the needy of justice and rob the poor of my people of rightful claims, so that widows may be their spoil and that they may plunder the fatherless. Now what will you do in the day of God's punishment, and in the storm of devastation which will come from far away? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth, for safekeeping? Nothing remains but to crouch among the captives or fall, dead, among the slain, on the battlefield. In spite of all this, God's anger does not turn away, but His hand is still stretched out, in judgment. Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger, against Israel, the staff in whose hand is my indignation and fury, against Israel's disobedience. I send Assyria against a godless nation and commission it against the people of my wrath to take the spoil and to seize the plunder, and to trample them down like mud in the streets. Yet it is not Assyria's intention to do my will, nor does it plan so in its heart, but instead it is its purpose to destroy and to cut off many nations. For Assyria says, Are not my princes all kings? Is not Calno conquered, like Carchemish, on the Euphrates? Is not Hamath subdued, like Arpad, her neighbor? Is not Samaria, in Israel, like Damascus, in Aram? As my hand has reached to the kingdoms of the idols, whose carved images were greater and more feared than those of Jerusalem and Samaria. Shall I not do to Jerusalem and her images just as I have done to Samaria and her idols? Declares Assyria. So when the Lord has completed all His work of judgment on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, He will say, I will punish the fruit, the thoughts, the declarations, and the actions, of the arrogant heart of the king of Assyria and the haughtiness of his pride. For the Assyrian king has said, I have done this by the power of my own hand and by my wisdom, for I have understanding and skill. I have removed the boundaries of the peoples and have plundered their treasures, like a bull I have brought down those who sat on thrones. My hand has found the wealth of the people like a nest, and as one gathers eggs that are abandoned, so I have gathered all the earth, and there was not one that flapped its wing, or that opened its beak and chirped. Is the axe able to lift itself over the one who chops with it? Is the saw able to magnify itself over the one who wields it? That would be like a club moving those who lift it, or like a staff raising him who is not made of wood, like itself. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, will send a wasting disease among the stout warriors of Assyria, and under His glory of fire will be kindled like a burning flame. And the light of Israel will become a fire and His Holy One a flame, and it will burn and devour Assyria's thorns and briars in a single day. The Lord will consume the glory of Assyria's forest and of its fruitful garden, both soul and body, and it will be as when a sick man wastes away. And the remaining trees of Assyria's forest will be so few in number that a child could write them down. Now on that day the remnant of Israel, and those of the house of Jacob who have escaped, will never again rely on the one who struck them, but will truly rely on the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. A remnant will return, a remnant of Jacob, to the mighty God. For though your people, O Israel, may be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant within them will return. The destruction is determined, it is decided and destined for completion, overflowing with justice, righteous punishment. For the Lord, the God of hosts, will execute a complete destruction, one that is decreed, in the midst of all the land. Therefore, the Lord God of hosts says this, O my people who dwell in Zion, do not be afraid of the Assyrian who strikes you with a rod and lifts up his staff against you, as the king of Egypt did. For yet a very little while and my indignation, against you, will be fulfilled and my anger will be directed toward the destruction of the Assyrian. The Lord of hosts will brandish a whip against them like the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Oreb, and His staff will be over the Red Sea and He will lift it up the way He did in the flight from Egypt. So it will be in that day, that the burden of the Assyrian will be removed from your shoulders and his yoke from your neck. The yoke will be broken because of the fat. the Assyrian has come against Iath, in Judah, he has passed through Migron, with his army, at Michmash he stored his equipment. They have gone through the pass, saying, Geba will be our lodging place for the night. Ramah trembles, and Gibeah, the city of Saul has fled. Cry aloud with your voice, in consternation, O daughter of Galim. Pay attention, Lisha. Answer her, Anatoth. Madmenah has fled, the inhabitants of Gebim have fled, with their belongings, to safety. Yet today the Assyrian will halt at Nob, the city of priests, he shakes his fist at the mountain of the daughter of Zion, at the hill of Jerusalem. Listen carefully, the Lord, the God of hosts, will lop off the beautiful boughs with terrifying force, the tall in stature will be cut down and the lofty will be abased and humiliated. He will cut down the thickets of the forest with an iron axe, and Lebanon, the Assyrian, will fall by the mighty one.